Yeah, the Department of Government Efficiency is very interesting. But the way I look at things in the nuance, I'm like, first of all, the government is very inefficient, right?
Oh, the bureaucracy is
Right.
insane.
And then
Our
I
national
relate
debt's
that
insane.
to the culture. I relate that to Black America. We need our own Department of Government Efficiency. We need to defund certain people that so-called represent us but never get any impact or change. And we need to divert those efforts, attention, and money to people that are impactful. And we'll see the world change, right, in the next first 100 days.
Well, I think, we talked about it a little bit earlier. A lot of the people that you're probably thinking of got big houses.
Oh, yeah, they got big bills.
Been living real nicely off of the plight for years and years and years. And whether it's hanging out at a Costco.
Yeah. Bro, the Al Sharpton era is over. The civil rights era is over. And what I mean by that is that's no disrespect to those who laid real foundational efforts, right, to make progress, that had it really in their heart. But, and I believe that it's not just one or the other. Now we get to kind of look at the progress that our ancestors fought for. And we also get to think about what else our ancestors died for. Because we act like the voting is the only thing they died for.
Right.
Right? And no, they died for our economic power. Right? They died for our family power. They died for our pride within self. They died for our political power. Right? They died for multiple things, for us to know who we are. But we push the political voting power anytime we evoke our ancestors, and it's time for us to resurrect different ancestors now and move on them, because the Martin Luther King ain't gonna get us through this time. Right? Just think about if we evoke the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Marcus Garvey as the main ancestors, right, that we want to resurrect in our activities, we change the world overnight. There was a silent protest. I think it was 1917 or something like that. It was the first political protest in this country. And what they was doing is they was holding up signs. One of the signs was about, we got 100 million acres of land or something like that. 100,000 acres of land. I forgot how much it was, but it was like it's worth $100 million. And then they had this long list of all of the different careers and the amount of people that they had in each one. Right? From brick mason layers to nurses, right? And they went out there to protest because at the time there was an incident where there was some killings in East St. Louis, I believe. And the protest wasn't let's shout. The protest is like saying to this government, we've never participated in trying to assassinate a president. We were the first ones to shed blood for this country in the war, right? We've done our part and we've been doing our part, and we're not asking for nothing. But at the same time, it is the government job to provide opportunity for its citizens. But the message I seen was towards each other. We don't need to say nothing. Well, really, this is what we need to do. If we have 10,000 nurses, we got our own hospitals. If we have people that are in electrical and engineering and architecture and entrepreneur fields, we can build our own cities, right? We're not going to cry to them and say, save me. The message was, let's save ourselves.
Save yourself.
And if we responded like that each and every time, we would win, because it will forces us to become closer and closer and closer. And so the mindset that we need to have is a mindset of resilience. And there's no more resilient people than Black Americans. Never have ever been. Because the way that we respond to things, and resilience is the ability for to get bent out of shape and get back into it. Right? So we're always taken out of our nature. You might be made a slave and you get back to a warrior. You feel me? We might have to go through crack eras and go through the creation of ghettos in America and black codes, but then we always get back to it. Black men specifically are the biggest social activists and health advocates, right, in this country. We get back to it each and every time, but they try to paint it as if we just been failing and falling. No, we've been fighting and fighting and fighting, and we never stop fighting. That's resilience. We never stop producing brilliance. If it was no Elijah Muhammad, I wouldn't be here speaking to you today in the manner in which I do.
Right.
Each generation gets back to this resilience and saying, all right, let's get back focused and let's get back to this money. Let's get back to this power. Let's make our own music. Let's have our cultural revolution. Like, damn, if I went to Japan a few months ago, and it's the greatest place I ever visited. Japan is essentially culturally right where we want to be. They had a cultural revolution called Bushido, right? And the Bushido is the code of essentially shogun and the warrior class, the samurais, and their writings on how they lived. To not only know the art of war, but the art of peace, right? And they learn how to live this balance. And if you read it, you go through this collection of these generals and warriors and the way they think about life, right? It talk about how this one warrior was he was stone cold killer, but then on his off time he was a gardener, right? He understood how to take life and how to nurture life, right? And in that he's seen this sense of balance of how to live. They give a breakdown of how to clean and why to clean. That when you cleaning during the day, it's also you cleaning your mind, and it allows you time to think. And then at night, you don't clean, you just put things in place because it represents your mind getting and gathering itself. And if you watch anime, all anime put Bushido lessons in there so that it keeps and preserves the culture. But during that time of them producing that Bushido for their people, they had to go through some economic stagnation because they had to sacrifice some capitalization for the ethics of it all,
right?
Some morality. And now today, when you go out there, and this is a good example, you know, if you ever been late to work and you worked a corporate job, right, and you can't find no parking if you late, because everybody done parked, of course, in the good spots. But in Japan, there are certain practices where people will park farther away the earlier they come. So just in case somebody woke up late, right, they have empathy for each other and understand it's not me versus you. This is a cohesive harmony of people living in existence. And this is ancestral practice. This is us, how do we coexist, not how we compete with each other. So for me, we out of harmony with that, and we're going to continue to go through these crazy weather events. The Hopi people predicted it a long time ago that we were going to extract so much from the land, right, that essentially nature will fight back, right? These fires are going to continue to happen this year because fire is cleansing, right? It needs to happen. It's going to have to happen because where we're going as a society is not sustainable. So the resilience in the mind of being in flow, and instead of thinking of ourselves as a machine, how we just work more, how we start to become regenerative to where that which we put in produces more. So it's not just extraction, right? For me, the whole thing is just getting back to indigenous ways, getting back to ancestral ways, but utilizing modern technology and resources to be way more efficient than they ever could during their time. How would you run a Malcolm X play during this time? How would you run Elijah Muhammad play during this time, right? How would you run Madam C.J. Walker play during this time, right? And I think the most dangerous prevalent mindset is that we're so much capitalists, but I don't think that's sustainable for us.
Right.
I think we feel too much to just be greedy capitalists. I was talking to my brother Keenan Beasley, he was talking about how if you go look at the average super elite rich person, they're not happy. There is a karma that comes with that of just getting over on people, just getting more and more and more and more. They can't even sleep. They don't get a good night's rest. I don't think that that's sustainable for people who feel a lot, and we feel a lot.
Right.
That's how we've been able to be taken advantage of historically, having too much emotional empathy for others. So we have to be able to be in harmony with the technology and have dominion over it, not it controlling us. Because another single greatest threat to mental health is goddamn doom scrolling. You feel me? Like,
no, the doom scrolling is real.
Man, you just find yourself down this hole of stimulation because that's what you're trying to do. So you can't focus because when you focus now, it's like, this is too boring. But boring is another word for peaceful.
Right.
So if you replace your vocabulary saying, man, this is too peaceful, you'll hear yourself and say, what the hell wrong with me? Why I can't sit still?
Right.
You feel me? Why can't I be in darkness for a minute and relax my mind? So therefore, you want to have low stimulation and do low stimulation activities so it decreases your baseline so you don't need these high, right, dopamine hits of constantly getting, scrolling, watching, what's my next comment, what's the next thing happening? Now you can't goddamn focus on nothing. Now you're not excited about nothing. Now you goddamn watching porn and you can't enjoy a real woman.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm talking about? The women hitting themselves with the roses. They don't care if you bring her a rose. I'm talking about the flowers. Right. They ain't stimulated by that. They need that electrical activity. Instead, man, that come from Oakland. We just say something potent to a woman and she'll live off that for a few days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now she about to go watch Justin LeBoy quote and forget about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get back to slowing down to speed up, right? And I think that it's not about unifying with everybody. I think it's about finding your tribes right now. People who agree with the same values, same moral systems. We got to learn how to communicate to ourselves in the world right? Like part of the high level conversation book and things I'm putting together right now, I think the most thing that people ask me to teach them is how to communicate.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking about from celebrities to NBA players to leaders to other speakers. They want to know, how the hell do I communicate? So I started putting together this framework from a type 1 speaker to a type 5, and how to go from just being a memorizer of things to becoming an influential, passionate speaker. And men need to learn how to speak to women again. I ain't talking about the little fake riz y'all be doing, you feel me, with the little fake game, because if you can get a woman to fall in love with you by being yourself, that's sustainable. You feel me?
I just told this to my boy yesterday. He said he's going through it with his girl, or some girl he's talking to who's just a psychopath.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he this is the first girl he had in a minute.
Yeah.
He's kind of lost some weight, got his swag a little going, and he got a girl. But this is the first chick he's had in, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And I'm telling this guy, I'm like, hey, bro, this girl is like not good for you, dog. Like she's a bad person.
Yeah. What'd he say?
He said, I just don't got game like that. He almost like was talking like as if this was the only girl he could get. And I was like, the problem you're having, bro, is like you're approaching that as like having game as opposed to just being yourself and having a girl who just fucks with you for that, dog. So now that you got physically in shape and you got some confidence, bro, just be yourself and the women will come full. Like you ain't got to like settle for somebody who's going to like be bad for your peace of mind.
See, you know what happens with a lot of men is they learn how to tap into their light side. Let me be a really good guy and try to get a woman. They don't know how to tap into their dark side.
Right.
You feel me? When you don't need nobody, a woman wants you more. You feel me? When you dangerous, she wants a man that feel like he can protect her.
Right.
You feel me? When you persuasive and, baby, I got to focus on my goals, can't focus on you. You a provider. You a man that's going to get money. You feel me? Like, you working out and things of that nature, man, you position yourself, again, going back to the Bushido, to be a man that knows the art of peace and the art of war. A woman ain't going to fall in love with a man that just know the art of peace.
Right.
You feel me? Because what she looks at is dark traits subconsciously. And this is what a lot of men don't realize. You could be a nice guy, look good, all of that. But then the other guy who got the dark traits, she thinking more long term. He can actually protect me when I need to.
Yes.
And making a woman feel safe is number one on her list. You feel me? That's why they look for finances. There's safety in it. I don't want to goddamn be poor out in the streets.
Right.
Selling it to somebody who don't need it. You feel me? Giving it away just cause. So there's a development of that masculine darkness and that masculine light. And the problem is that she usually seeks a man that has too much darkness or too much light. So when she find the 19 keys in the world, she said, that's just right. You know what I'm talking about? Right. But I only exist right here. There ain't too many me in existence. So I want to teach the average man, right, how to tap into that darkness and that light so he can move with balance in the world. You feel me? And then every woman go want you.